We're going to take a look at a Kabar folding knife today. Finally, Kabar has come out with a folder that I want to carry. It seems like all of the folders in the past, either they seemed really cheap or they just didn't really speak to me as far as how they were designed. So this one is different. Now this knife review is a little bit different than ones that I've done in the past. I've already carried this knife, so I can talk about how the ergonomics and everything are and how well it cuts. I did unbox this previously and put it on the best tester so that we could get the factory sharpness. And you'll see that coming up. Just that was when it was right new out of the box. And it was pretty sharp. But not really where I wanted it to be. So I did put it on the work sharp and put my own edge on it and have been carrying it since. So now that blade style, real high grind with a nice drop point. Got a little bit of a fuller, you know, kind of like a nod toward the fighting utility knife. You can see I've been carrying it, it's a little bit dusty. So the cutting that I've done with it has been really good. It's still a little bit thick on the edge, so it's not gonna slice as much, you know, quite as well as something that's nice grind where you get really thin. But this is more durable. It's made out of D2, made in Taiwan, polymer handle, liner lock, decent lock up there, and skeletonized liners. Let's see, can you see in there? There's a really deep cutout for the front finger. It's borderline too much. It is comfortable and it will keep your hand, along with this flipper tab, it will keep your hand from sliding up the blade if you have to push the point into something. So that's nice. I wouldn't want this any deeper. If it was a little bit shallower, I would be on board with that too. But it does make for easy access to the lock bar. The action is okay. The detent is okay. It pulls it in. It's not a super heavy detent. So you probably could fail the flip if you just light switch it like that. If you just hit it though, good, it flips with no problem. So the handle has a little bit of texture and some beveling that makes it sit pretty good. There's not a ton of traction. It can be feel just a little bit slick, I've noticed, but it hasn't interfered with anything I wanted to do with the knife. Here's my only complaint. See this pocket clip? It's tiny. And if you look close, see this part of the pocket clip rides on this part that's beveled. So in order to keep the pocket clip sitting correctly, they grooved out underneath this other side because it's on the next tier up here on the beveling. So they had to groove that out. Between this clip being so short and that little groove, it does make it a little bit more difficult to get in and out of the pocket. There's plenty of room under the clip for jeans, but when it's in your jeans, you don't have much to grab onto. So what I've found myself doing is trying to hook a finger under the pocket clip when I'm pulling it out of my jeans. I can't really get a good hold of it like I do on some other knives in order to draw it fast. I am kind of getting used to it. Here, this is a better view since it is a reversible pocket clip. You can see the groove right there. So the pocket clip would sit on this flat down here and then sit into that groove. And that's okay. It does stay put, but I would have rather have seen a pocket clip extended down a little bit further and not have to sit inside that groove. Comfort-wise, the pocket clip just kind of sits right here in my finger, and even the little indentation in the pocket clip there kind of makes it pretty comfortable to hold. This is the first Kabar folder that I've seen that I've really liked. Pocket clip notwithstanding, I'm kind of wondering if we could get a different style. You can't go too much further because then you might run into this area here. So I'm not sure. I might maybe flex it out just a little bit to reduce some of the tension. There's a little bit of jimping along the top. You can feel it. I don't know. It might help a little bit. But what I think we should do, I have some decent flats on this knife. I think we can get a hardness on this D2 blade. So why don't we go into my knife shop and we will check the hardness on this. All right. Let's see what we get here. I have checked calibration on this recently. So we're going to get that on a nice flat spot. Okay. Sorry for the wobbly camera. I don't have this on my tripod. I just have this hooked to the table that the stand is on. All right, it's still moving. All right, the needle's settled out. So let's see. That came in at like 61.2. Wow. Let's try it again. Flip the knife over. Stay away from the hole from before. All right, let's get her dialed in here. If that's really 61, D2 is 61 Rockwell, I'm pretty impressed. This isn't an expensive knife, so if they took care to Rockwell it good, to heat treat it, that's fantastic. Okay, the needle's settled out. Let's see what we get. And that's 60 and a half. So I would say overall, we're looking at right around 61 Rockwell. That's pretty doggone good, honestly. This should make for a nice durable blade. All right, let's head back to the tabletop. Okay, I've got the Kabar Mark 25 on the list here. I've got new test median. Let's see how well this knife does. Now I am doing this before carry. I'm just filming this short little bit here so I can get the factory sharpness. The review will continue later. Okay, a 177. Oops. So that's not terrible. Honestly, it's probably a little bit sharper than I expected. So, yeah, that's where we're at. And it is a sharp knife. Comes from the factory sharp. And I do think that it can definitely use a tune-up. Might take it on the work sharp and put a really good edge on it. Let's see how it cuts. Magazine page. It's definitely not as sharp as some of the knives that I've tested. Let's see how we go there. So it cuts the magazine page okay. I think there might be just a touch of burr. But you can see it cuts magazine page. And a 177, I think before I carry this, I might take it on a date with the work sharp. All right, back to the review. All right, just a quick update. I just used my Ken Onion to put a 17-degree convex edge, stropped it out. Just for the heck of it, before I really start to carry. Let's see what it is now. $99. So now she's definitely ready to go. All right, let's get back to it. So there you have it, right about a 61 Rockwell for D2. That's not bad. In fact, I think it's actually pretty good. This isn't an expensive knife, so I think that that's going to provide some really good service. Fairly comfortable in the hand. And really nice blade geometry. Pretty tough to go wrong with this, honestly. I'm just excited that Kabar finally came out with something that I like. You know, this is one of two different styles. They have another blade shape, and I kind of like the other blade shape too, but I like this one a lot more. So this one, let's see here. So this is from Knife Center, Kabar 3071 Mark 25 liner lock flipper knife. Black GFN handles. So that's what you're looking for, a Mark 25, and like I said, two different styles of blade, coated since D2 is not stainless. And so far the coating has held up really good. Just wiped clean. Kind of surprised that it's not more marked up. I have done some cutting with it. I have adhesive and stuff on the edge, but anyway, thanks for watching. Tell me what you think of this. I'd love to hear your opinions Are you happy that Kabar is finally making a folder that's worth its weight? Instead of some of these cheap little knockoffs. Bob Dozier, I have a real Bob Dozier handmade from him, and that's a great knife. But the Dozier folders that Kabar has, I just can't get behind them. They're just too cheap. But this makes for a really good knife. Looks pretty cool, and is heat treated well. All right, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Till next time.